Congratulations to the Clinton School of Public Service class of 2014, the largest in the school's history. I wish I could be there in person to celebrate with you. First, I want to thank my friend Ginger Beebe for her continuing support of the school and for being this year's commencement speaker. Ginger's lifelong commitment to service is a shining example of what all public servants should try to be, the type of leader all of you are on your way to becoming. As all of you know, I think the school is very important to me, and I'm honored that you began your journeys in public service here, through your work in and out of the classroom. Each of you has proven the importance and value of the work, setting an example for others and improving many lives and communities. Over the past 2 years, you've traveled to 21 countries on 6 continents to complete international projects. You've made an impact in Arkansas through small group projects, and you've completed your final capstones all over the world. Thanks to your dedicated teachers, you've also learned how to translate the theoretical into real-world ideas and action. It's these lessons and your passion that will help you to have a positive impact on people's lives throughout your careers. I look forward to seeing where the future takes you and to following all you accomplish. Thanks again for your hard work, and congratulations on your well-deserved graduation.
(2014), and I encourage you to tweet away. I will introduce her in a moment, but I want to welcome my friend and Arkansas's First Lady, Ginger Beebe. As Nina Veal can tell you from her project work, Mrs. Beebe's advocacy on behalf of mental health issues is just one of her numerous contributions, and we are honored by her presence today. I want to thank and recognize those who brought items and made contributions to the Jericho Way Day Resource Center, a homeless shelter supported by the cities of Little Rock and North Little Rock. In 2010, at the suggestion of then student, now alumnus, Nicholas Hall, we began collecting items for a local charity and incorporated giving as part of our graduation activities. We thank you for your generosity, and as our students have heard me say many times, little things mean a lot, and particularly for those who have nothing at all. On November 18th, 2004, the Clinton School officially opened, and our first class was admitted in 2005. Just days ago, we completed the admission process for Class 10, the class of 2016. Through graduation 2016, we'll be focusing on and commemorating our first 10 years. As part of that, I'm pleased to announce that from June 20th through June 27th, 2015, we will have an all Clinton School 10-year anniversary service project in Dangriga, Belize. Alumni and their families, along with faculty, staff, and their families, will be invited to participate, to join together in service to help develop organic school gardens and safe recreational areas. The Clinton School has a long history of project work in Belize, and that includes graduates Crystal Chipman and Josh Visno. Alumnus Jesse Rice and James Mitchell will be the project team leaders. The class of 2014, Class 8, certainly has distinguished itself. 2 Boren National Security Scholars, a Global Health Corps Fellow, the first Borens and the first global in the school's history. When Superstorm Sandy devastated the Northeast, you stepped up by collecting and sending thousands of items and supplies. When typhoid reared its head in a rural African village, you were the one who determined the source leading to its eradication. Your project work resulted in the government of Zanzibar funding a training center for solar mamas. You continued our commitment of collaboration in the Delta. You led us to a second-place finish in the National Policy Solutions competition. You represented us at a U.S.-Ukraine conference, which at the time we had no idea how important that would be. And you were honored for your work on the Newport Blue Bridge by the Historic Preservation Alliance. Despite being sandwiched between UAMS and Arkansas Children's Hospital, but often finding care inaccessible, you engaged a Little Rock neighborhood and helped develop a 12th Street health clinic. In recent days, you supported tornado relief efforts in a devastated community only 35 miles from where we are gathered today. And some of you had the unique and special opportunity of being there with President Obama. During your time at the Clinton School, we surpassed over 500 field service projects and over 175,000 non-classroom service hours. 175,000 non-classroom service hours. And last night, when you celebrated your graduation in Sturgis Hall, you did so in the oldest LEED certified building in Arkansas and in one of the 10 oldest LEED certified college and university buildings in the world. That is a big deal. And as you and your families can see by the list of distinguished speakers on the back of your program, you had unprecedented interaction with some of the world's best and brightest. I want to recognize Dean Susan Hoffpower and our very talented faculty and staff. The high graduation rates, high alumni career placement rates, and the many successful field service project outcomes are in large part due to their ability, their dedication, and the individual support they provide our students. Please join me in giving our faculty and staff a round of applause. Now, for those who were at the 2013 graduation, some of you will remember that I ended by speaking as if I were texting. I'm not going to do that today. But I will tip you off that Marie Lindquist and I have cooked up a little surprise, which you will see later. To the best of my knowledge, it's the first of its kind at any graduation. Last year at Wellesley, Sarah Chapman's alma mater, President Obama's counselor, Valerie Jarrett, offered this advice: you will inevitably encounter people, both professionally and in your personal life, who try to shine at your expense and undermine you whenever they can. Be patient, keep focused on doing your best, shrug, laugh, and bounce back. Be flexible and move on. Prove them wrong. Success is the best revenge. In the words of 2010 graduate Emily Fisher, our first presidential management fellow, now at the State Department, and who was recently honored for her achievements in planning the Hillary Rodham Clinton Children's Library, be bold. Life doesn't have a roadmap to follow. When he lost his bid for re-election in 1980, and many, by the way, speculated that his career was over, then Arkansas Governor Clinton responded, "I still think that most of us are proud of those people in our national heritage who cared enough to give most of their adult life to the work of public service. And that is what I still hope to be able to do someday." 1980. And so today, built on the foundation of the school President Clinton established, the class of 2014 continues the unfinished but ever life-changing work of public service. The late Eli Siegel, founder of AmeriCorps, offered this advice when he delivered the commencement address at the University of Michigan School of Law. "As people, I urge you to do acts of service that rely upon your humanity. Don't let your diplomas obscure your compassion." As graduates, I hope you will always be proud of your Clinton School diploma. But don't agonize over the roadmap or ever compromise your compassion. Instead, be bold. Keep focused on doing your best. And where needed and when needed, bounce back. I thank each of you for coming our way, and I look forward to following your next steps with anticipation and with joy. Congratulations and best wishes to you. Thank you. Just a few days ago, the Clinton School had our 2013-2014 Field Service Community Partner Reception at the Governor's Mansion. It was a very special event in a very special place. Under the leadership of Arkansas's First Lady, Ginger Beebe, the Governor's Mansion hosts an average of about 160 events each year, many of them for nonprofits and educational institutions. It is fair to say that as First Lady, Mrs. Beebe has transformed the mansion into the People's House. During Governor Beebe's first year in office, Mrs. Beebe conducted a listening tour with families whose children suffer from mental illness, and she continues her involvement with the National Alliance on Mental Illness. As a member of the Arkansas Children's Hospital Board of Directors, I've had the pleasure of working with her on the development of the Natural Wonders Partnership Council, which identifies and addresses the needs of children in our state. When it comes to children's health, and particularly the issues of mental health and hunger, Arkansas has no stronger voice. She is a good friend of the Clinton School, hosting our students over the years on numerous occasions and participating in several of our programs. And while her husband holds the remarkable distinction of winning every Arkansas county during his last campaign, Ginger Beebe holds the remarkable and much appreciated distinction of carrying the less fortunate, the challenged, and the hungry on her shoulders. When it comes to public service, there is no finer or more humble public servant. Now, in her last year as Arkansas's First Lady, and today delivering her first ever commencement speech, it is my high and personal honor to present to you the First Lady of the great state of Arkansas, Ginger Beebe.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Skip. And as he said, this is my first, my only commencement speech. And I have to say that I was a little taken aback when Skip called. I'm like, me to do this? But because of our friendship and support many years now, and because I believe when I think of public service, I think of Dean Rutherford. Not only what he does at the Clinton School, but what he does for our community and our state. So I face my fears for him and for you all. Thank you. Thank you. Well, all of you here today, you've been through multiple graduations already, and you've heard people like me get up here and try to deliver a message designed to inspire you. And I'll give you some examples. Take what you've learned here and go out and use it. And now you're ready to go forth and change the world. Well, you've probably done a lot of these things already. So today I'm not going to talk to you about what awaits you out there. I'm going to talk to you about how you've changed during your time at Clinton School. But of course you've changed. You've learned new things. You've made new friendships. But you've also gained something during your time at the Clinton School that makes you special. And it makes this program so very special. And that special thing is that priceless benefit. It's the change in your perspective. No matter how good your teachers are or your professors, there's always going to be difference between what you learn in a classroom and what you experience in the real world. While you may have seen some of these changes as an undergraduate, and you've experienced them when you had your bachelor's degree, the greatest change is in your perspective, and it's through your work here of public service. Public service is one of the greatest ideals, and it's something that we all hold as necessary for a strong society. It's what we want to see good people do for the greater good of us all. But that desire for service and the ability to effectively achieve it, they're two different things. Now you know the difference. That smallest idea can take root. It can help millions of people in the right conditions. But at the same time, the largest, the best intended ideas can sputter on the individual level. So what you can do now, what you have to learn in this school and around the world, what you have learned is you can combine those two, that high-level thinking, the grassroots action that creates real change. That pragmatism provides real help. That kind of leadership personifies public service. And sometimes the best ideas that can serve the most people are built on the simplest of foundations. I want to talk to you about two men, Jeff Brown and Dale Hubert. One was an author and the other a teacher. Now, they weren't among the politically powerful or cultural elite. However, through their ideas and actions, they created an amazing form of education that helps children with a taste of the greater perspective that you have gained at the Clinton School. Their work created a special relationship that I have gotten to share with the Clinton School. 50 years ago, in 1964, Jeff Brown, I don't know if you can see this. Some of you know this already. But Jeff Brown wrote a book called Flat Stanley, just so Skip can see this. He's got his cap and gown on. 31 years later, in his third grade classroom, Dale Hubert began the Flat Stanley Project. Now, some of you have heard of my past association with Flat Stanley and the Clinton students. And I bring him up because he's a great example of how combining a basic idea with a good perspective of what it can do and what it can create is a matter of public service. Now, for those of you who don't know Flat Stanley, the basic idea is a book. Jeff Brown wrote a fairly simple children's story, a fantasy tale about a boy who was squished flat, who suddenly had a chance to travel around the world. Students who read the book can mail a flat Stanley, just like this one, to their friends, to their family, public figures, to people around the world. Flat writes about his experiences. He even makes pictures to document his travel before being mailed back to the one who sent him. Through Flat Stanley's eyes, these children have the opportunity to learn about other people, other cultures, other places all over the globe. Flat's story was the product of creativity and an imaginative mind. The perspective was what Dale Hubert realized could be taken from that story and applied to real life and real students. The Flat Stanley Project started in one classroom, one school in Ontario, Canada. And the goal was to have students communicate with other students, share their experiences of where they went and what they saw. A simple drawing of a boy on a piece of paper was the common thread to connect those students. Of course, that phenomenon has grown. It's gotten larger and larger. And all over the world, flats have been popping up. There have been more books written. A decade ago, when Jeff Brown passed away, other authors picked up the mantle and wrote other Flat Stanley books, and now there's Flat Brandons, Flat Ashleys. There's even a Flat Asep in Indonesia. Eventually, that phenomenon made it here. The past Clinton students have taken Flat Stanleys all over the world, and I've taken them in as many places as I can, several times even to the White House. And Stanley has been in some situations the rest of us will never know. A Flat Stanley was on board U.S. Airways Flight 1549, the plane that made that amazing safe landing on the Hudson River. But most importantly, Flat Stanley has taught children about the world. And that's good, because our technology advances so and our world shrinks. The American children know less and less about our world. Less than a third of the students in the United States meet proficiency standards for geography. Less than a third. This is just one tool, one thing that can help push that number in the right direction. So this idea, it worked because there was a need for it. There was a way to address it that was different, it was fun, it held the imaginations while still being educational. This is the kind of combination that can be truly public service. You kind of like this, Flat Stanley? This school, this program, you graduates now must connect your heart with your brain. Being able to balance idealism with pragmatism, it's true perspective, and that's leadership. So those other graduation speakers, they were right when they told you, you really are now ready to go forth and change the world. And you can do it with confidence the Clinton School has given you, and knowing that all of us here are so proud of you. We look for big things to come from you in the way that you will use your public service to help others. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you.
On behalf of the faculty, it is my honor to certify for the Master of Public Service these graduates. Will all candidates who are to receive the Master of Public Service degree please rise and remain standing. Dean Rutherford, I certify to you that those candidates who have completed all their academic requirements are entitled to receive their degrees.
Now, by virtue of the authority vested by law in the Board of Trustees of the University of Arkansas System, I confer upon each of you the respective academic degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations appertaining. And I offer my sincere congratulations to you.
You may now take your tassel from the right side to the left. Congratulations. It is now time for the graduates to take the stage for the presentations of their master's hoods.
Mitchell Adams. Jessica Michelle Boyd. Andre Bro. Kayla Tanae Brooks. Kathleen Riley Brophy. Angela Nabukenya Bukenya. Sarah Catherine Chapman. Crystal Martoliano Chipman. Mara E. D'Amico. Calandra K. Davis. John Jeffrey Delury. Danae Halstead. Alex Michael Hanfinger. Margaret Elizabeth Compton Hobbs. Frederick Theodore Foster Holcomb. Angela Jimenez Leon. Chet Howlett. Ashley Crystal Jones. Immaculate Katari. Nathaniel Clay Kennedy. Lindsay Ross Keene. Amelia Teresa Lafont. Christopher Mark Morgan. Marisa K. Nelson. Roger Allen Norman, Jr. Sean James Michael Edward O'Keefe. Abby Renee Olivier. William M. Orr. Ann Bowick Owen. J. Tyler Pearson. Jacob Keefe Perry. Greg Francis Potter. Catherine Lee Powell. Nicholas Provencher. Lauren Remedios. Jenna Denise Rhodes. Alexandra Allie Rotary Rouse. Alia Sarkar. Catherine Marie Swader. Nina Elizabeth Veal. Joshua James Visnop. And Emily E. Wernsdorfer.
I would like to invite James Mitchell to the stage with Don Ernst and Susan Hoffpower. We are going to be doing something called a fishbowl, and we get the pleasure of talking about this class for a minute here in the inner circle of the fishbowl. And those of you that are in the outer circle get to think for a minute and reflect upon this class and what you appreciate about them so much. So I'm gonna just start with, I just love their passion, and it always gives me pleasure and renews me every time I think about the intelligence, the care, the love, the dedication, and the hard work of our students. And I'm thrilled to be at a place that I get to work with such wonderful people.
I have been very touched by their willingness to not only do the big projects of public service, but to engage in those really hard projects. When they responded to Sandy, and when we were literally picking up pieces of people's lives out in Mayflower and their hard work and sweat, and that they know that that is as important as the big glamorous parts of it.
I'm reminded of the great Brazilian educator Paulo Freire, who argued that the most meaningful research to be done in education is to getting to know the students. And I come to understand why that's important. Because if you come to know the students, you realize that's where the real learning and power is in all this education stuff, right? So in our shared world, there are some essential pedagogies, especially knowing, doing, serving, caring, loving. This class bears witness to each of those.
I think that listening to the dean cover the accomplishments of the students earlier today, it made me realize how much I'm going to miss them fundamentally. And it reminded me that as administrators of this program, it's very easy for us to get absorbed in the day-to-day, what Henry Miller calls the sameness of the everyday. But what a blessing it is for us to basically ride shotgun on the experiences of these people and to have the chance to live vicariously through their joys and challenges and travails, and to see them go from fundamentally good people coming into this program to even better people as they exit it's been a blessing for me.
Anything that you would like to add? I think that's a good example of something called a liberating structure, which they were introduced to in Dr. Arvind Singh's class and that we have integrated throughout our curriculum as a way to include everybody in our conversations and in our work, an important value at the Clinton School, that we need to make sure that we've included everybody in the work that we do. And liberating structures is one of the techniques we use and teach in order to happen. So that was a fun way to honor you and to appreciate all that you have brought and embraced as part of your experience here at the Clinton School.
For those of you in the audience, you have just seen the first college and university graduation to take on a liberating structure. And so when the history of the Clinton School is written, it will be in the class of 2014, and you'll hear more about liberating structures because it is a rapidly growing form of communication, and we're very proud of our faculty and the students who have participated in it. So you are welcome to talk to the faculty members and the students in the reception that follows. They'll be glad to explain you this concept in great detail. So if I could ask, we are going to have a reception following the recessional. If I could ask that you please stand. We are going to, our recessional is the Clinton School alma mater. It was written by David Watterson from the class of 2011. It is printed in your program, and we look forward to visiting with you at the reception. I ask that everyone stay in their seats until the final graduate has left. The faculty, the stage will process first, followed by the students. And if you will remain seated until all the students are in the reception area, and then we can celebrate all together. Thank you for being part of the Clinton School.